What's up, people? It's your man Black Cobra back once again with the Wheel Life Show. Today on the podcast, we're talking all things Grizzla and the effect that they're having on the EUC industry right now. And to do that, of course, I had to have one of the brothers jump in. So today, I have none other than the one and only Arek Griglicki from Grizzla. What's up?
Hey, Cobra. Yeah,
How are
thanks
you?
for having me. I'm good. I'm good. Uh, it was nice day. It's like in general, it's summer right now in Poland, so it's best time of the year. You can ride with like no hats and like no gloves. So
Okay.
it's really it's this moment to enjoy your UC. So I ride entire year, also in the winter. But sometimes it's more pleasurable. Sometimes it's more like survival. Because it's so cold or rainy. So yeah. So this time it's like enjoying. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. And it's very much the same here right now. So I live in New England in Massachusetts.
Hmm.
So it is a whole lot of crappy weather for most of the year. And then we get a sliver of good weather in the summertime and we have to deal with it. So right
Yeah.
now we're dealing with it. I'm getting the good weather. I got 80 degrees yesterday. I
Nice.
was like, woohoo!
Mm, nice, nice.
But I was sweating my butt
Super.
off.
Yeah, 80, like for me, it's like already pretty hot. Like we have here like now 75 in Fahrenheit, and I consider this hot. This is like already hot.
Yeah.
But I remember, like when we first met in Arkansas, like
Yep.
at 23 amp. No, it was 23, yeah?
Yeah.
23 amp, like second edition.
Yep.
It was so hot. I think it was like 90 or like 100 Fahrenheit. It was just, it was it was the hottest I've ever experienced in my life. It was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that was some dangerous heat in
Yeah,
Arkansas in
yeah,
23. It was. I remember that. But we
yeah.
did it. We survived. We got some really
Yes,
good
yes.
riding in, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
And I think like now, like because AMP is in October,
yep.
it's much nicer. Yeah, like, so,
Yes, yes.
yeah,
Last year was much better, much better.
yeah.
So Roger's in the chat. Yo, what's up, Roger? The one and only Roger. Roger said, he said, yeah, Arik is an awesome guy and an excellent writer. Okay, okay.
I can say only the same about Roger. So,
Yeah, definitely,
yeah.
definitely. Hang on one second. Give me 1 second. So, we also have Ricardo. What's up, Ricardo? How you doing? Good to see you, man. Um, yeah, he always jumps in the chat. Oh, looks like I got a real quick phone call. Do me a favor. All right, today we're talking about your sync pads, right?
We can talk anything. Yeah. So
Okay, so
we don't need to do like any advertisement. We can talk, of course. But
do
we
me a
can talk.
favor. Give me
Yeah.
an introduction as to how the sync pads came apart. You could tell me that while I'm taking this call real quick. Go ahead.
Yeah, 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 sure, sure. So this is like long-term project. Yeah. So we started this in October. When we actually initiated collaboration with Roger Chapman. But for the long time, we are thinking about making like more aggressive, more performance-oriented pads. But same time, it was always like this question of balance between performance, commitment, safety, comfort. So we really spent a lot of time with Roger, like fine-tuning the ergonomics, and that was basically like the first step to make it like as ergonomic as possible. Like to make the contact zones like on your foot and on your leg in a way that you have control. You have access to power of the wheel, but you are not overcommitted. Yeah. So in case that you need to like release, you don't have like so much contact and pressure uh, on your foot. Yeah. So that was really like the starting point, yeah, like the
Hmm.
ergonomics, and then like all the other design parts came. Yeah? So we started experimenting with dual material approach, so to make sure that we have like this soft layer, which has contact with with the leg is grippy,
Yeah.
but same time, yeah, this is Noam, so, my friend. uh, but same time, like we want to have this direct transfer of your intent, to
Hmm.
the wheel chassis. Yeah? So it's like this like soft pillow combined with a very rigid and durable material, which is responsible for transferring the power, from your leg to the wheel. Yeah. So
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
I hope you
I
will
like
soon.
that.
Yeah, I hope you will soon experience this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry we have delay, and let me maybe use this opportunity to apologize for all the riders who are waiting for the pads. And we are doing all we can to ship this SAP. We are doing weekend shifts. My friend, from my team, he even he involved his girlfriend. Yeah? So his girlfriend is like coming and helping us, like on weekends, so we can like push this as like as much as possible. Yeah, but
Well,
so
good.
really doing our best. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I was gonna. That's what I was gonna ask you about, and I'm sure everybody was gonna ask you. So I'm glad you went ahead and answered that anyway, because there are tons of people that are excited about these sync pads and what it means for EUCs, because it's always great to get new types of pads.
Yeah.
So I have tried every kind of pad,
I
and
know.
like the other pads that you had, I had them on my wheel and I tried, and it just they didn't have. You know what it was for me? The Clark pad bio pads had the
Hmm.
softness in the middle, so when I lean on it, it like grabs your leg and it's soft.
Yeah.
And every other pad didn't have that, so the bio pads have always been my favorite go-to since they came out. And when I saw your sync pads, I'm like, oh, they have a soft layer and then a hard layer, and I was like, okay, that's what I like. So this might be the ones. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm anxious to get mine. So I know you guys in the chat may not know, but I ordered mine, and they were trying to get mine out too. So he was hoping to get mine to me before
Yeah.
today's podcast, but he wasn't
I
able
know.
to. I was checking the mail every day. I'm like, come on, come on.
Sorry.
But I
Yeah,
know you're working
let me.
overtime trying to fill your orders,
Yeah.
so I appreciate your
Mm.
efforts. Um,
No, I think if you liked the feel of Biopads, you will like Things, because it's kind of take on the same goal. Like I think Biopads were like were also like aiming for like huge like deep concave performance.
mhm,
Like being one with the wheel, so that's why they're so wide. Like
mhm,
Things are also very wide. You have lots of contact points, but I think so. I must say, I didn't spend much time testing the biopads,
mhm.
but I think like what I can say about our design, that it's really focused on the safety aspect also. Yes, so of course and we include this in our manual. Like you have to um, tick some points. Like so, if you push them too close to your foot, you won't be free in case of the accident. Like you need to find this this like sweet spot where you
Yep.
have the contact, but in case of tricky situation, you can exit. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people are trying to find that spot. Um, I know one of the guys in the Connecticut EUC chat. He grabbed. I think it was Stefan Wheel. He grabbed a pair of the or set of the sync pads, and he opened them and he put them on his wheel, and he's giving us videos step by step, and he's like, oh, I don't know if I like the way this feels. I can't get. And
Hmm.
then the very next video, he said, "Oh, I moved it a little bit, and oh, these are amazing!" Like, and because finding
Yeah.
that sweet spot is exactly what you
Yeah.
were talking about. And we all know
Yeah.
that certain pads are gonna some will work for you, but they only work for you if you get them in the right spot. So you got to move them to
Mm.
where they work
Yeah.
for you. So I'm looking forward.
Definitely.
You know what I wanted to ask about is the top of the front pad. It's curved so much, and I like to
Yeah,
sit on my wheel. So I was like,
yeah.
ooh, I should be able to sit and still stay behind the pad if I position it right. Was that your intention in making it
Uh,
curve so much?
it wasn't so I didn't have we didn't have so much seated riding in mind. So it was more like to provide freedom of movement. So I
Okay.
hope you will find this also comfortable for seated riding, and I will be very interested in your experience. So
Yep.
we need to stay in touch on that. But
Yep.
it was more meant, like for this progressive load, like when you apply your shins on the pads. And also,
Yeah.
the amount of leverage you will get, like just from your foot on these pads because of very strategically placed, contact zones is really, extreme. Yeah? So I like you almost don't have to use your shins so much, yeah? Because you have like so much power, like coming just from your foot. Yeah? But
Hmm.
it needs to be experienced. Yeah? So you will soon test it for sure.
Yeah. I can't wait.
What I can say, yeah, is that yeah, I lost this thought, but you've mentioned, like that you need to find certain positioning. Yeah? We know that especially with the new parts, you need to experiment. Give it, like even few days. Like try it in different circumstances. And we are working on like very detailed video, which will explain positioning also. So there is a manual with the sync pads where we describe, like the ideal steps, like some tips and tricks, like how to find this ideal positioning. But we will also prepare the video, yeah. So
Hmm.
uh, to make this step easier, because it's also, sync pads will require some new riding style. Yeah? So it's more, focused on, bending your knees, not so much relying on the shins. Yeah.
Right.
So you can still position them in a way that you will primarily use shins, but I would encourage everyone to also practice with this, like with some new style. Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
Well, I have them behind us on the screen. I know you can't see it, Arek, because you can just see me, but I put the your website up behind us.
Mm,
I can't get
yeah.
the whole page, excuse me, loaded back there, but you guys can see one of the comments said how much of the pads and oh he said how much of the pads and why so much. So, yeah, they're 199 for the set of sync pads, and you guys can see on the screen what they look like. They have them in the red, and you can see I'm not a red
We have
person.
them.
I don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
but they look really good, and I like the way they look. What were you gonna say, Arik?
No, I was just saying that you can make them in different in different colors. Yeah? So red is just
Yep.
like example, but there is basically like 120 combinations of, different colors of pillows and bases. Yeah. So
Yeah, I
that's why,
love the way they
we
look.
cannot. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. That's aesthetic was also, aesthetic and design in general is very important for us, because I know
Yep.
that, riders want to, you know they want to look good, and they want their wheels to look good. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm glad, I'm very glad, that you have my green this time. I'm very glad because the before you had that lime green, and this seems like I haven't seen it yet up close, but it seems like it's more like the green we're wearing right now. And thank you, by the way. Shouts out to Arik for rocking the Wheel Life Rally shirt. I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
That's
Proud
right.
to represent. Yeah. So, I was waiting here, so I can, like finally represent.
I like that. Thank you
Oh,
for
yeah.
representing. And for those of you going to the Wheel Life Rally or thinking about it, you can see here. This is the New Jersey. We added white in the coloring. So at there and at the bottom, you can see that the white sticks out, and on the back and stuff. So we added some white in it this year. There's going to be this is one of the prototypes that I have on here. So the jerseys are $80, personalized with your name and number, whatever you pick on the back. So you can get those on wheelliferally.com as well. So we have a couple more people in here. What's up, Stan? He says, are manufacturers contacting Grizzla for exclusive EUC pad integrations?
Uh, do you mean like, for example, Kingston contacting us to
Yeah,
make the pads for them, or
I think that's what he's asking.
not really, not really. so, so not not really, but I think it's also I've heard that there is some patenting problem
Yes.
in EUC industry. That basically one company has patent to include
Yeah.
power pads with their wheels, yeah? Which
Yeah.
is quite shitty.
Yeah, it is
uh,
quite
uh,
silly. I think it's the stupidest thing ever. But whatever. They have to hire another company to make their pads for them. It's something. It just seems stupid.
yeah.
Oh, we got Ilya. Ilya is in the chat. What's up, Ilya? Yo, he in another incredible racer. Great
I
job in
know, I know,
China.
I I know. Yeah.
Yeah, I really had a good time watching you ride. I did an interview with him in China, and great job, man. Great guy, very nice guy, very energetic,
Yeah,
enthusiastic.
he was competing like crazy. Like I seen the off road. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
If he didn't
yeah.
fall that last time,
Yes,
he,
yes,
he would
yes.
have been in the top winners.
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
EUC Lucifer, what's up? He said his pads are in shipment. Yes, they are on the way.
That's- so this is this is proof that we are really shipping them. Yeah? So it's not just some like scam. Yeah, so we are not scamming people.
You know,
Yeah.
it's funny you say that because I did just order because there's a lot of scams coming out of Poland, and like
Really, really.
my bank wouldn't even let me buy. I went to buy there's the Halo headlight and tail light setup for the Sherman L, and I
Mm-hmm.
tried my
Yeah.
credit card and two different debit cards. They all said no and
Oh.
declined. And I was like, "What's going on?" I had to call the bank the next day. They're like, "Yeah, uh, yeah, Poland. We don't let it go to Poland." I was like, "Well, I'm buying something from there, man." And they're like, "Oh, okay. If you're saying it's legitimate, yes, it's legitimate. Can you let the thing go
Yeah.
through?" And they finally let it go through. So I was happy to get that. So I don't know. I should be getting that. But it's got to ship from Poland, and I don't know how long that's gonna take. So we'll see. So I'm waiting
Yeah.
on the sync pads, and I'm also waiting on the headlight and tail light for my Sherman.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, so so what we are doing, for example, because we have delay, we are basically shipping like most of the orders with priority express service. So we are like paying extra to basically, like reduce the shipping journey as much as possible. Yeah.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
hope that this will at least, that's what we can do. Yeah,
yeah.
basically
Well, you know what
with
I
this.
forgot when we were talking about this is you also make a protective kit for the Sherman L, right? Like bumpers.
Yeah.
I need those too. I should have just had you send it all together. I completely forgot, and I was like, "Oh, I should have got the bumpers too," because I'm like, so we'll talk about that after.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah.
Stan says the EUC is an amazing transport. Does Grizzla foresee expanding their business outside of pads for EUCs, like attachable work wagons, storage
Mm.
bags, battery warmers, and etc.?
Mm.
Any of that
Yeah,
on the
this
horizon
is
for you guys?
this is good question. So, right now Grizzly is so we started with power pads, yeah. Like when S22 and Master appeared on the scene, like we started also making, like fairing plates and bumpers, seats. Now we are also making UC pedals. We will very soon release this adjustable stabilized headlight for Leopard Kims. Uh, and we are looking for like new ways in which we can add value for EUC industry.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in terms of attachable work vehicles, I was thinking about it, but same times I know that there are plenty of existing solutions which you can basically adapt in order to suit EUCs. Yeah? So it wouldn't make sense for us to invent it from scratch. We would rather like find some existing device which we
Right.
can so we can customize some attachment. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So it can be used with EUCs. Yeah.
Well,
uh,
there, and he's asking a good question because there's a lot of things that we can do with these amazing
yeah.
wheels, and it's just
Yes. Okay.
I love how far we've come, and I know there's a lot that we can do with them. So all these things can be on the horizon. So Stan, um, they're not working on the wagon or or things like that yet, but
No,
I'm
but
sure
these are
they'll get around to
yeah,
it.
but these are great ideas, and we
Hmm.
are yeah, also we need to always consider as like a company which needs to make profit, like to pay
Yeah.
wages and survive. We need to
Huh.
always consider if this is actually so the idea is great, and maybe I would make this idea for myself and for my friends, but is this
Profitable.
given yeah can we basically like make profit on this? Will
Hmm.
people be willing to pay x
Hmm.
$100 for certain device? Yeah,
Yeah.
if they can like buy something else and do some DIY attachments. Yeah, so
Yeah.
basically that's yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you have to think that way no matter what.
Yeah.
I've learned that it's great to want to do everything for everybody and make all these great things, but it's hard when you get down to the business part of it. It's like,
Yeah.
can I
Yeah.
do that?
Yeah.
My pocket ain't deep enough. I can't. So, Amped Electric Games shouts out to Seth, my man, in the chat.
Oh
Yes,
yes, yes,
yes. We wouldn't even have met if it wasn't for Seth going to Amped
that's true.
Electric Games. That's where
Yeah.
Arek and
Yeah.
I met. So shouts out to Seth.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
EUC vibes in the house. Vibes. Appreciate you, brother. He's always in here. Appreciate you. Um, oh, okay. Roger says I tried the new pads on the Rocket. Felt great to me. Okay. Everyone at the Intro to Speed loved the pads. Okay, okay, yeah, Intro to Speed. Ooh, ooh. You
Yeah.
guys already rocking the
Long
new
Beach.
syncs,
Yeah.
and those guys
And
race.
yeah, I know, I was actually, I had a chance to join, one of these intro to speeds in Long Beach when I was joining Marty's tour, like in 23, yeah,
Yep.
in California. Yeah. So we spent one evening, yeah, with Mario, with Smalls, with Lem, riding, on this, like in this place. Yeah. So it's for me, like I really am very fortunate that I could visit states, so I can now connect these YouTube movies with places which I actually visit. Yeah? So this is really like a really great part
Yeah.
of my job. Yeah.
Yes, it's fantastic to do that. That's one of the things.
Hey Brady.
Yeah, Wheelie Brady in the house. What's up,
Oh
Wheelie?
man.
Yeah, great dude, Wheelie Brady. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I started doing the Wheel Life Rally. And I, I was doing research recently and looking at all the old stuff. I didn't realize it's been 6 years, but I started the Wheel Life Rally in 2020, and that was the
Wow.
first year I did it. And the reason I did it was because I wanted to bring together people who ride these wheels, and that's the whole
Mhm.
point. When we do these events, the Wheel Life Rally, Amped Electric Games, when we go to these events, is getting together with other like-minded people that love these wheels. It's something that you just can't replace. And all of us that
100%.
ride,
Yeah.
we know you can't replace that feeling. Hanging out with other nerds who love wheels. Yo,
Yeah.
it's a great feeling. So I appreciate everybody. Stan is saying it's difficult to find the upcoming EUC drops. Does Grizzla receive early notification of drops? If so, can Grizzla share the new wheels being dropped for 2025? Thanks. He wants to know if you
Yeah.
have the inside track on what wheels are coming
Yeah.
out.
I would love to, like, actually, I'm trying to build these relationships, with EUC manufacturers, and it's working well, in like with one of them. But even if I knew, like I signed NDA, so I cannot share, like I cannot
I
disclose
wasn't
that.
gonna
Yeah,
say it, but yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Stan, they do that all the time. They reach out to various people and let them know that things are coming out, but like you said, they only want you to mention what they want you to mention. So
Yes,
unfortunately, you'll
yes,
have to wait and see, and let the companies drop their information.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
everybody is held by that. There's some people like the Godfather of Wheels, Marty, who's now in the chat. What's up, Marty?
Hey,
Marty says hi,
hey, Marty.
Arek. He says keep killing the EUC accessory market. He gave you a fist bump.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
really are. Your new design is off the charts. I think. I
Yeah,
think you.
yeah. Let me maybe take this moment to say that I am only part of Grizzla, so I'm like one of the founders, but right now it's like team of 10 people.
Mhm,
Especially ThinkPad, it's very collaborative project. Yeah? So
mhm,
it's Grizzla, it's Roger Chapman from the UK, who is like, Roger is like very interesting person. He's like for 4 years developing different pads, designs. He wasn't very good in like promoting them and like like putting them to market. But he's really spending a lot of time thinking about it, testing it, and putting all his expertise also from different industries, like kite surfing. So I'm really proud, that we were able to connect, like as
mhm,
and like build trust with another EUC creator who's
mhm,
not part of Grizzla to bring this project to life. Yeah? So I think for me personally, like that's the biggest success of ThinkPads, like collaboration and building trust with another person who is also very invested, like devoted a lot of time, energy.
mhm.
So yeah, that's so big shout out to Roger, but and big shout out to entire Grizzla team, who was involved in making this, to Adam from wrong way, correct way, who took part in recording the video, like
Mhm.
Warsaw School of Films, who prepared the video. So it was
Nice.
very, it was like effort of multiple people. So I don't want also to present myself, as someone who did all of this, yeah, because
No,
that's
we
very team
yeah.
team effort.
We understand that, and we appreciate you for putting forward the message that it was a collaborative effort. And to
Yeah.
everybody, great job. Applause to everybody. Great job. You guys hit it the nail on the head. And you made it happen. So I appreciate you guys for doing what you do. It's amazing. So Stan is asking any opinion on the tariffs for Grizzla's business narrative? Like, what do you
so
think about
so
that? How's it going to affect you?
so right now it's not affecting us. Yeah? So luckily, we are still. So if you order, below $800, there is no tariffs and no customs. Yeah. So yeah, and it's like 99% of orders. Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now there's no effect of tariffs. Yeah, and if anything changes, like we will try to find way to counterbalance that. Yeah? So we have some ideas prepped, how to manage that. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I did want to real quick put this up behind us, just so you guys know. I know the red is like the prime color, but you see this black and green. That's what I like. That's right. That's mine right there. That's what it's gonna look like when I get my pads in. So anyway, so yeah, I do appreciate the team effort, and I know it takes like we say, it takes a village to raise a child, but it takes a village to build a product. So
Yeah, yeah,
you guys
it's
all came together, and that's really good. I just like what you guys are doing. To me, I love when EUC manufacturers and product manufacturers that have to do with EUCs listen to what the community is saying. And that is one of the things, one of the
yeah,
problems that we had before was that we weren't getting people to listen to what we were saying, and we were giving feedback and it fell on deaf ears. But now we know that you guys, like especially Grizzly, you're not just manufacturers, you're riders. So you hear us, you feel us, and you know exactly what we're talking about. So you make changes according to what we need. And like this and this idea, and as a matter of fact, we didn't even go deep, but I'm gonna go a little deeper. The fact that not only did you make these pads, and I put them back up behind us so they can see, but you made them comfortable. You have the soft layer and the hard layer, so you made them that we can control the wheel. But then you got inventive, and you threw in the ability to have lights that you can put in there. And I mean, the AirTag pocket was crazy. Like, I'll be honest. I wanted to include an AirTag in my wheel, and I was like, I think I should put something so I can locate it in case some knucklehead tries to do something stupid, and just to be able to do that, I was like, that's kind of a dope idea. So I
Yeah,
appreciate the inventive
yeah.
idea of that.
Yeah, here, like I need to be also, respectful of other path makers, like the Diego Jimenez, from Vortex Path. He also included AirTag slot, in his power paths. But
Hmm.
honestly, this idea was brought to us like many times, by different riders, and that's like one of the examples, like when we try to listen and implement the feedback from the community, yeah? And if you really like I think that's the only way forward. So of course you need to have your sense of what you want to do, what you want to achieve, but you also need to put this idea to the community and test it, and see what they
Hmm.
think. Yeah, because
Hmm.
yeah, you know, this is not these are not paths for yourself. Yeah? So when we made the things, like we send it to 15 people in States and Canada, and actually what Roger was writing, was the prototype of ThinkPads. Yeah?
Mm.
Because that was Mario's set, because Mario was one of the testers,
Hmm.
and we collected feedback. We sent them like very structured Google form, to collect their opinion on different properties, comfort, some pain points, and we had some very nice sample of data, which we could use to make these pads even better. Yeah? So
Nice.
we changed some. So actually, like it was there weren't so many things to change. Riders liked even the prototype version, but we did some changes. Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah,
and I'm even looking at them. I really thought the design, the look of the pads, the way that you did the two tone, so that you can make the wheel look the way you want it to look. And looking at your website even further, like the fact that it has like you could do gray and red, I'm like that is like unique, and you can make the insert the gray and then outside. I was like, what is this? I said, this is pretty inventive, and the ability to be able to make it look like you want. And you're right, we take pride in our wheels, and there's so
yeah,
many people that want to show off their wheel, and now the look of these pads allows them to do that, but then the performance of the pads allows them to do what they need also. So I'm excited to get mine. I can't wait to get mine. Like, Tyson Mitchell, what's up? He says AirTags will do bugger all the prevent theft. Unfortunately, well, you're right. They're not going to prevent the theft. I'm not saying that they definitely won't do that, but the whole point is if the person doesn't know that the AirTag is on there, you might have an opportunity to find your wheel, knock that person out, and get your wheel back before. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. You might have the
yeah,
opportunity to get your wheel back before he's gone too far because he doesn't know that you have, what you need.
yeah.
Um, it's important. Oh, Pacific Northwest 360. What's up? He says sync pads for large wheels. Yay or nay? Yeah, these are
Yeah,
these are for the large wheels. If you have them,
yeah,
they'll fit.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, definitely. And these pads might be, they might look small, and we got a couple of comments, initially when we released them, that okay, like, do you plan to make bigger, larger version? Yeah? But really, we tried them on Sherman L. We try them on links, on Apex, on like heavy 40, 50 kg like wheels, and you get a lot of performance. Yeah, so you
Mm-hmm.
need to keep in mind that these pads are meant for a bit different style. Yeah, so that you don't work with your shins so much. It's more coming from your foot and from your ankles.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but we had no problem, controlling and like having a lot of performance from big wheels. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, about like super heavy wheels like Master Pro or Panther. Then maybe we will make in the future some like additional parts so you can have some shin support for these super large wheels, like where you really need to push them. Yeah.
Yeah.
But from what I know, the Panther is much more responsive than Master Pro.
Yes,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
is.
So yeah.
Yeah, the Panther would have no problem with these pads because it rides like a smaller wheel than it is. Yeah, it was
Okay.
very responsive. It doesn't feel big and heavy, even though it is big. It feels pretty smooth and it was easy to push. And that was with their pads that came on it, and the pads that come on it are definitely not as good as these. So I'm sure that these are easily going to be able to push the Panther around. Um, I'm not sure about a wheel like the Commander Pro GT Pro Plus. That's a big heavy
Mm.
brick. And I
Yeah.
that's one wheel that I'm not sure. I didn't really care for riding it. It didn't give me a good vibe. It was just a little too much. I thought too boxy, too bricky. It just didn't. It wasn't finesse. It wasn't the Panther. That's for sure. It did. It didn't have the same vibe. So
I
um,
see.
that one but someone also like Stefan Wheel. He also said he was upset because he's like these pads stick out further than I thought they would, and I'm like, good. That means that there's more control there than you thought you were gonna have because you're right. They look like they're small, but their
Yeah.
footprint is big as they need to be, at least from what I see. I haven't touched them yet, so I'm just going off of what I'm looking at. But and what he said, because he was upset at first, and then he goes, "Wait a minute, this feels really good." As soon as I moved them in a different position,
Mm.
so and that's another thing you have on your website. You show a little. There's a little video clip of the pads moving, moving,
Yeah.
moving, moving,
Yeah.
showing that hey, you need to move these around and make sure you get the right spot.
Yeah.
That's very
Yeah.
important.
That was the idea, to show that you can actually position them in. Of course, it's pretty obvious now because they are like separate pieces, front and rear. But this is this is on purpose. Yeah. So first you can, because we are thinking maybe let's make these parts in one piece. Yeah. So so people are like super confident that the Velcro will like stick. Yeah. But then there are two problems with making this one piece. Yeah. First, you cannot make them adjustable. Yeah. So it's like very it won't be like one size fits all. Even yourself, with different shoes, like you might have problems, like having the same experience. And second problem is that if you make this one piece and you put them very tight, in case of emergency, the Velcro, has so large surface, that the pads won't give up. Yeah? And ideally, like from the safety perspective, you should have enough Velcro, to keep the pads securely on the wheel, when you do
Mm-hmm.
your maneuvers, even aggressive ones.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have very sudden force, force which can, break your leg or ankle, the pads should give up. Yeah. So because otherwise, you want pads to give up uh, earlier than your bones. Yeah. And
Yeah.
and if you put too much Velcro, it's also not good. Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. You got
So
to find
that's
the,
that.
the the happy medium there.
Yeah.
So, first of all, everybody do me a favor, hit that like button. Go ahead and smash the like button if you're watching the video now. And even if you're not watching it live and you're watching the playback later, go ahead and hit that like button for me, please. I really, truly appreciate that. And Marty is talking shit. He says, buy a V9 with built in wheel tracking. Just saying. Yeah. Great, Marty. That wheel has built-in wheel tracking. But are you taking that wheel on your long uh, cross-country ride? Are you taking that wheel on your Mount Baldy high-speed run? No. So we got other wheels that we need for that, Smarty Pants.
Yeah, yeah, but I definitely agree, that the AirTag in the pad, is like one way of like making this more secure, but putting the AirTag even more deep
Yeah.
inside the wheel is even better. Yeah, so
No,
there's
that's a good thing. Tyson, he's playing devil's advocate there, but yeah, the whole
yeah,
idea is that once the AirTag is traveling, remember Apple does notify, hey, there's a tracking thing. So if you have an Apple device and then all of a sudden this tracker's with you, Apple tells you, hey, there's a tracker
mm,
near you. So people will be like, whoa, what? So yeah, that's a bad thing. But my point is, um, if you get it fast enough, if someone you went in the store and they told you couldn't bring your wheel in, you left it outside, and when you came out the store, you see somebody running down the street, you can turn on that tracking and follow that person wherever they go. If you get it, if you had a vehicle and you could follow them, and you might be able to get it back before they could deactivate it. That's all I'm saying. It gives you a slight chance. Is it an end all be all? No. Is it going to stop them from stealing it? No. Is it 100% going to get your wheel back? No. But I'm just saying it's better than what we had before. So I would prefer it to be in the wheel like the V9 and be part of
yeah,
the wheel, because then they wouldn't know that they're tracked and they wouldn't be able to turn it off. So, yeah, that would be a better option. But the V9 is the only one that does that right now. So it would be nice if all wheels had that, sure.
yeah.
But I like an option at least. Give me something. This gives me something to go on.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that. Um, excuse me. All right. Well, let me ask you a question. We talked about the pads, and I'm sure we'll talk about them a little bit more. Grizzla, like you guys have done a great job starting from where you came from. Because I remember the first time I heard, Grizzla's making some. I was like, who? What? Who's that? And I saw the pads, and actually, you just mentioned something that I had an issue with. I put the Grizzla pads on my ET Max, and for
Hmm.
some reason they weren't staying. Not
Mm,
like I couldn't get like you were saying, like when I pushed on it, I felt a little movement, like the Velcro started
mhm,
giving way. I was like, oh no, 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 no. So, and I know
mhm.
it was partly because of the Velcro I had on there, and maybe it just wasn't
Yeah,
seating right, whatever. But
yeah,
I was like, no, I got to change them. So I changed the pads, and I didn't like that. I was like, oh. So when I look on your website, you have a photo of the sync pads on a wheel, and then they're holding the sync pads
yeah,
and lifting the wheel by the pads, showing that the Velcro is really sticking to this wheel.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think like there are different kinds of Velcro, of different quality. I'm pretty sure that you used the stock Bigot Velcro, yeah? And because I know, because I also had ET Max, and I had the same problem. I think the Velcro they use, at least at this wheel, I'm not sure about now. I think they switched to better Velcro. Was pretty thin, like the loops, because you have this loops Velcro on the EUC, and also they made like a lot of like cutaways for the bolts and screws,
Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah,
so I don't think this was ideal, like from the,
yeah.
and there was also some separation line, like in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
Yeah,
So I think that all contributed to poor
yeah,
experience.
yeah. No,
But
you're right. Because it wasn't just your pads. I did have another set of pads too. I forgot the other ones I had on there, some old crappy ones, and I kept trying. I was like, something's gonna stick on here, and it and I ultimately the bio pads I put those on there, and then I got some slippage there too, and I was like, hold on. Now, so I think it is the Velcro from Bagode that was on the wheel. And I thought about it, and I said I could put my own Velcro on there, but then I don't have all those laser cut holes for the bolts.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
that sucks. Yeah,
yeah, it
yeah,
does. So oh well, it is what it is. Marty says, buy a V9, and then I told him not, and then he says, well, I just did a 200-mile ride. Yeah,
but
Marty,
but
you're a beast.
for real, for for real, like 200 miles on the V9, like with 8 charging stops, or
I hate charging stuff.
no. I'm just curious, yeah, like because
Yeah,
I have V9.
yeah.
Uh,
How many stops you had to make, Marty? you
that's
you had to make
but
a
it's
few
very
because there's not that much battery in that wheel.
yeah, V9 is like great wheel. Like my
Yeah.
experience so far is very responsive, very nice quality.
Yep.
Suspension, like needs like very good tuning to your weight. So it's not too bouncy, but you can find the good spot. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought about
So yeah,
buying one. I'm just mad because I'm like, I don't need it. Like,
yeah, yeah.
I want one just because I want to ride one, but I don't really want to buy one because I don't I don't need it. Like, but I want to experience it, and especially
Yeah,
now the C8. Marty, good video on the C8. I was just watching that video
yeah.
last
I
night.
think
Yeah.
yesterday, yes. Sorry.
I wanted one of them already, and now I really want one even more. So, oh, Ruben's in the house. Shouts out to Ruben. Let's go. That's my man. Yeah, so I definitely I the C8. I wanted a V9. Now I really want a C8. So I'm a little upset right now. Liam, send me a C8. I need a C8. I think I need one now. After Marty's video, I definitely need one. I never had a Nikola, and
And,
yeah, I came in the game at a time when the Nikola was starting. Well, no, not true. It was still big. It was still very big because it was what 7 years ago now, almost, and yeah, it was still very big. It never did it for me. Something about the circular shape I didn't care for at the time. I loved the lights like everybody else did,
mm,
but I didn't care for the circular
mm,
shape. So I was like, eh. And but now I'm looking at it like, whoa, it looks sexy.
mm.
you
The
know.
same. I was more like, I was thinking about Nikola versus MSX, and I chose, like MSX 84 volt, yeah, at that
hmm
time.
I think most people went that way. I think the MSX won the battle because a lot of people said that. Um,
Yeah,
but
it's
oh
legendary wheel, yeah, definitely.
yeah, very legendary.
Yeah.
So Ruben, Ricardo says, "Hey Ruben White, well done with your Tough 1 win. You won at Tough 1, Ruben. I didn't even see that, my man. Okay, shouts out. Good job, man. Oh, Sensei
Hey,
Vegan in the house. What's
hey,
up,
hey.
brother? So let me ask you this. So you're getting a lot of wheels now, so that you can do these pads and stuff for it. What's your favorite wheel right now, Arek? What's your favorite wheel? I'm gonna put you on the
Yeah,
spot.
yeah, my favorite wheel, for a long time is V14. Yeah, so it's but this is a very modified V14. So it's dual battery version. So I removed the two batteries. So I have only 1200 watt hours. But thanks to that, the wheel weighs like 31 kilo. Yeah? So it's lighter than the T4, and it's still very very punchy, very agile. I mounted 1990 Michelin city grip tire, so
Oh boy.
it's like buttery smooth, and yeah, I'm just in love. I can do everything on that wheel. Yeah, I can dance. Like on that wheel in the city.
Uh
I
huh.
very rarely do more than like 20, 30 miles at like one go. So I'm always with a charger, so I can charge this very small battery. So in the city, definitely V14. And I also like I never ride past 40 miles per hour in the city, yeah? Because I mostly ride, yeah, like yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that I was gonna ask you how you just shocked me. I'm gonna be honest. because
yeah,
you're not a little dude. You know, you got some height on you, and to tell me the V14 is the wheel that you're like in love, I'm like, really?
yeah,
But you just
yeah.
explained it. You like to be able to move and be agile and dance on the wheel, and
Yes.
so I get that. I
I
just
like to
I
feel, I like to feel that wheel, is so responsive that I don't need to push it,
hmm
I just need to, like give it, some like small, small move and it just do the thing, I feel, very, so that's why I like small, small wheels, I like V9. I'm waiting for Aero for V12S and, for all these small wheels. So for me, that's the best year of the UC industry, like in, in,
mm.
in like 5 years because it's the year of small wheels, which are,
Oh, you're
which were always my favorite ones, yeah, because
oh,
yeah,
so you're that guy, huh? You're
yes, yes, yes. But
yeah.
I also write, Lynx and Apex. So I'm now like thinking if I should keep Apex or Lynx because these are my off-road wheels, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
So for the
links.
off-road,
I'm gonna say links.
yeah. I modified my Apex. I put some better shock.
Yeah.
So I'm still not sure because I like this bigger suspension travel,
Yeah.
in the Apex. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I
So
just
so
know
yeah.
you have to put a lot of work into the apex to get it where you need it. So if you've already done that, then I get it. Yeah. So Marty says, did when he about his 200 miles on the V9, he says, "Didn't you see my wink? No, I can't ride the V9 for more than 10 miles." No, Marty, I didn't catch the wink at the end of that. Now you said it, I look back and go, "Oh, okay, I see it."
Yeah.
Area 51 Enduro Tony says, "Hey from Ohio. What's up, man? What's up?" Welcome to the show. Yeah, so I am a bigger wheel lover. Um, the small wheels are nice to jump on and go, and I like to teach on small wheels and stuff like that. But when I really want to ride, I'm a big heavy dude, and I
Mm.
need a wheel that has big heavy power
Yeah,
and big
yeah,
heavy battery.
totally.
I want something more oomph to it, but I want it to have oomph and finesse. So that's why I'm
Yeah.
in love with the Sherman L right now. Um, I
Mm.
love the original Sherman. Then the Sherman S blew my mind. That wheel blew my mind. I was
Yeah.
just so in love with that wheel.
Yeah.
And then the L comes out and it tops everything that the S did. It's just better in every way. I'm like, oh shoot, okay, now I got to get
Yeah.
that one. So
I remember you selling your Sherman S like on the last aunt, yeah, to buy Sherman L.
yep, yep, yeah.
Yeah.
And I sold it to a guy at that amped, and I was mad because he sold it like a week later and got more money for it. And
Mm.
another, he got more money and another wheel for it. I was like, damn it.
Yeah.
But
But yeah,
it,
like I feel you, like I feel you, if I want, like superpower, I will also, so actually V14 has a lot of power, yeah, but
mhm,
I was, yeah, like it's very torquey. But yeah, I also, ride for that reason, Lynx and Apex. Yeah?
mhm.
I now got X-Way, yeah, so I will be testing X-Way much more. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I was just gonna put that one out there. I was trying not to, like, add something else to your pile, but yeah,
yeah.
I can tell
I
you
have,
right
yeah,
now. To me, the X-Way is the off-road wheel, but of course, I'm not hitting those big jumps and
mm,
clearing gaps and stuff like that. So you got to take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. I'm
mm.
not that guy. I just snapped off the pedals making one jump, so
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
That
not
was
the
mad. That
jumper.
was crazy.
Yeah, but I love off-road riding. I love hitting the ups and downs and going between trees and hitting the roots, and
Yeah,
I
same.
love that riding. To me, it brings me to life, and I feel like I'm really doing something, and I enjoy it.
Mm,
So the X-Way in China was so
mm,
good to me. I I I swear I was in awe of how much abuse that wheel could take and how
yeah,
much it could pull me through any trenches, any hills, any valleys, anything, and just keep pulling and pulling. I was like,
mm.
that wheel is pretty damn
Super.
amazing.
It's powerhouse. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very powerful. It's
yeah.
for me, it's like even more power than I need. Yeah, it's so much.
Yeah, I
It's
get that. I get that.
yeah,
That's for sure. Oh,
mm,
Ricardo's asking, what suspension are you running on your Apex?
yeah. Yeah, so I followed advice, from Gabe, from EVs. So I installed this Fox Float X Performance Deluxe. If you go to Apex group, on Facebook, or even some links on Nosped page, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you will find all the details, the correct name, because maybe I misspelled something,
Mm-hmm.
and all the G units to install it, yeah, because you will need, some like extra rod. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah. See,
there is some work
yeah,
involved.
it's a lot of work to get the wheel to where it needs to be. So I was, but that was their first wheel, so I was like, all right, fine, I
Yeah.
get it, But their arrow, whoo, that's a sexy looking wheel right there,
Did,
boy.
did you try it? Did you try it
I
already?
haven't been able to try it yet. Unfortunately, over here where I am, I don't get all the opportunity to have all the wheels first. I wish I was in Southern Cal with these guys or somewhere where the wheels could get to me faster. Because I want to try all these wheels and give my opinion. As a big heavy guy, I like to give my opinion on the wheels from the big guy's point of view. And it is one of those things that I saw the arrow and I thought it's a little overblown. I don't think it's gonna be all that. It's more money than it should be. Blah blah blah. Then it comes out and I'm like eating crow because I'm like, oh damn, that wheel looks hot. Everybody's saying that it's performing well and it feels great, and I'm like, all right, I'm wrong. It seems like it's gonna be an amazing wheel. So I wish I had
Yeah.
an opportunity to ride it. So it's coming though. I'll get it.
And
Oh,
and do you plan to go to Amped this year?
of course.
Okay.
Being part
So
of
I
the AMP
hope you
team,
meet us.
yeah,
Yeah.
anything that Seth does, I'm there for. You know, previously I wasn't able to make all the side events, and
Mhm.
Tough One and some of the one wheel events because of working and stuff. But I plan to try and make all the events, even though I was really mad. Even this weekend, Tef One, I was supposed to be there, and then family stuff
Yeah.
came up, so I still didn't make
Yeah.
it. But I'm planning to try and be at a lot more. But yes, I will definitely be at Amped, and expecting to have another amazing time. You know,
Yeah.
uh, next up for me, obviously, is the Wheel Life Rally is August 15th and 16th. So once again, guys, this is the new jersey. We added white to it, so I like the way it pops. And then this is the new Wheel Life Rally hat. I haven't posted this on there yet, but I'll throw this up. I only have 20 of these hats, so I'll put those. Whoever gets them. But yeah, the manufacturer was ridiculous to get it from Pakistan because I forgot that, or I didn't realize they were going to be fighting in Pakistan and trying to get
Mm.
packages out. They were having trouble with the war stuff going on there. So it took them a minute to get it to me, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna order more. So for right now, we only have a few. But anyway, that's the next event that we'll be getting to, and then the Amped coming up, baby. I'm excited for Amped this year. Um, how about you? What do you miss or you enjoy the most at Amped, Arek?
Oh man, there are many things, yeah, but let me maybe list three. Yeah, so I really enjoyed like the community gathering. So for me, that
Mm-hmm.
was like the biggest highlight was actually meeting riders, talking to riders, riding
Mm-hmm.
together also. So I think like the community aspect is for me the most important.
Yeah.
Also, because I could really get a lot of like in-person feedback about the products, about like what people like, like
Mm-hmm.
in their wheels, and like what they would like
Mm-hmm.
to improve. And overall, like the Bentonville is just great area to ride. They have like 250 miles of trails. The infrastructure is crazy. The rail yard, which is like the
Yeah.
UC paradise. So uh, it's crazy. It's just it's unbelievable. Yeah? Like I couldn't dream this place.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, and
That's
also because I have very rarely chance to compete with people, and I'm not
Mhm.
very competitive person. But also, this possibility to actually, compete with yourself, like next to other riders, like on Thunderdome,
Mhm.
improve my jumping skills, like on all these different lines at rail yard.
Mhm.
So huge progress for me as a rider, also.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and everybody has that same feedback. I think that's
yeah.
why, like I said, I love these events. Um, Here at the Wheel Life Rally, we have three different off-road tracks. So I was kind of incentivized by the downhill tracks at Amped to,
Mhm.
that downhill double slalom is just crazy.
Oh
So
yeah.
here, the dirt bike track, the WIC 338 that we do our event at, we can't ride on it because the dirt on it is so thick and deep that our that one tire we have is not good enough to get you through it.
Mhm.
But the owner makes these incredible trails and tracks off of, so we go downhill through a tunnel, and there's a underground tunnel that you have to cut through one of the tracks for the route. I mean, those kind of off-road experiences you can't have anywhere. So that's why these events are so good. And I tell everybody, if you have an opportunity, make sure you make some of these events because it's beyond belief. When you love riding and you get to ride on
Mhm.
some of the best terrain and craziest trails, it's unforgettable. Unforgettable.
No, no, definitely. And like if I, because no, for me it's like a big journey because no, I live in Europe, so
Mm-hmm.
it's like quite expensive flight. Also
Yeah.
I have young family, so it's huge commitment. So I cannot
Mm-hmm.
join like every event. Yeah? But if I were
Yeah.
in States, I would join like much more. Yeah. So now,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No, I
So
understand that.
yeah, yeah. So I need to choose like one, maybe two, yeah. But this
Mm-hmm.
year, yeah, one event. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, even being able to go for us, like being able to go to China in December
Yeah.
was amazing because it was such a big undertaking, but I was like, I gotta be there. And then this year is gonna be Malaysia. So
Hmm.
I that's going to be exciting to get there. But there's a lot to look forward to this year. So I know at least I have the Wheel Life Rally, Amped, and then Malaysia. So those three things are
Hmm.
definitely happening this year.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I still am hoping to get to a couple of one wheel events. Also,
Hmm.
um, Wheel Life Rally is now part of the One Wheel Racing League, the ORL. So there's other events in
Nice.
that racing league. So I'm hoping to go to some of these one wheel events and hang out and ride with some of the one wheel guys. Speaking
So
of that,
are
go
you
ahead.
also riding one wheel?
No, I don't ride a one wheel. I tried it. I didn't really care for it. So but the one wheels come here to the Wheel Life Rally. So we have
Hmm.
one wheel races also. So
Okay.
yeah, and last year we had some incredible one wheel races. Excuse me. And we do all side competitions also. So like
Hmm.
the rumble, the jousting, the backwards riding, all that stuff too. We
Hmm.
do have so many mini games, so it's fun to watch the one wheels do their thing as well. So starting next week on the show, I'm gonna do a couple of one wheel interviews. So we're gonna have a couple of special guests from the one wheel world. So definitely
Hmm.
check back on that, and we'll talk about some of their events and the One Wheel Racing League and all of that good stuff. In the Wheel Life Rally Council, some of our members are one wheel riders, so we're gonna have them on as well, so we can have some good commentary from them. So it's gonna be good going forward. Excuse me. So stay tuned for that next week. We'll be talking to them. Excuse me. So
Hmm.
in the chat, we also have a couple of things. Stan said, "Has the Panther been released? It's abnormal for Bigot to not release a wheel quickly."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "It's out there. Panther's out there. People haven't bought and gotten theirs yet, but it's being ridden right now. I haven't seen anybody with their finished versions riding around yet, but there's a bunch out
Hmm.
there floating around." And Stan says, "I am waiting for the 200-volt X-Way." Well, they're doing a 200-volt wheel. I don't know that it's actually going to be an X-Way, but we'll see. I'm not sure. I heard that too, but you never know until Bagode actually releases something because they be just putting stuff out, coming up with stuff. Um,
Yeah, but I think Brian was riding this 210-volt wheel, like making this world record. Yeah,
yeah,
that was
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that.
But they
Yeah.
didn't. I don't think they called it an X-way. They called it something else.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
That's true. Yeah, like we don't know the name of the wheel.
yeah. They called
Like
it
for me,
something
it's
else,
like yeah,
and it
oh,
and it
yeah,
had lights like the Panther.
yeah.
Um,
Okay.
but so it looked like the Panther and the Blitz, but it was something else. I forgot
Mhm.
what she said. She said the name too, and I was like, "What did she say?" I rewound it. I'm like, I still couldn't really hear her, so
Mm.
I'm waiting for
I
them to
see.
really announce it. But he did a great job. But
Mm.
I only could watch the first part. Did he get what was his top speed? Do you remember?
74.5 miles per hour. Yeah, like that's crazy. Like that's the speed
That's nuts.
where you would go like expressway. Yeah, in Poland. So that's like no expressway speed.
that's ludicrous speed, as I call it. Ludicrous
Yeah.
speed.
Yeah, this is of course like riding on the edge. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Pacific Northwest 360 says I am super interested in the Commander Max. The Commander Pro 50S version 3 has been a wonderful wheel to me, cruising 45 to 52 constantly. Yeah, I can see in your photo there. Um, that's the that's the wheel I jumped on the airbag and
Mm.
snapped the pedals off of.
Yeah, that
It-
was some tough landing. Yeah, that was like that was some tough landing.
yeah, I still can't believe I got away with that and it didn't get hurt.
Yeah, that was yeah.
Oh. Oh wait, Ricardo says, "Oh yeah, Brian has been trying out the new 210-volt
Mhm.
wheel in China and looks like a smaller, lighter version to the Panther." Yep. So they're likely gonna go oppose the throwing a 200-volt and an extra. Yeah, that's what I mean. The fact that they showed off that wheel and it looked like the Panther and the Blitz, I think they were going off of that body style. Um,
Mm.
but we'll see. Race the rail yard this year. That's gonna be exciting. You're right, Brady. You're right. Having the ability to race at the rail yard. The rail yard is iconic. Like
Yeah,
like if you're a rider, you don't understand what it feels like to be at the rail yard. The vibe at the rail yard with everybody just hitting jumps and jumps and jumps and rolling and cruising, and then you got the ride down the hill to ride around the lake there and stuff. I'm like, this is a great place to be. It's like it's amazing. So I can't wait for that too. Um,
and we have also John Fernandez in the chat. Yeah,
yeah. Oh, John Fernandez is in the chat. Hold on. Let me
yeah,
see. Uh,
Rockabye. Yeah,
Oh, there he goes down there. Okay. Yeah. Rockabye. What's up, man? I didn't see him. What's up? What's up? Um, Danny Merkel. Danny Merkel says, I'm a big guy as well, 6'4", 285. I've had two wheels. The last one was the Begode Master Pro, and it had decent suspension, but what would you recommend with better off-road capabilities that's lighter? Honestly, I would say the X-Way.
X-ray,
If you're
X-ray.
thinking of an off-road wheel and you're a big guy and you need power, the X-Way honestly is definitely the one. It's a powerhouse. I mean, at the time I was in China, I think I was at 252 for weight, and it dragged me around that mountain like nobody's business. I was like, wow, I have zero complaints about the way that wheel rode, and I was going up some steep inclines. And here I'm thinking, I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get up this hill without this wheel grunting and the motor like making noises and stuff. I leaned everything, all my weight on it. Just said, "Nying." I was like, oh shit. I was like, this bad boy got some power. So I would suggest that to you, Danny. X-Way, if you're talking off road. If you're talking on road, the Sherman L is amazing. The Panther is obviously going to be very good as well. And if you said, I think you said you had the Master Pro. The Master Pro was hard to push, dude. Yeah, you're not gonna get that kind of feeling from these other wheels. They're gonna be much easier for you performance wise. The Sherman L you're gonna love. The Panther you're gonna love. Um,
Yeah.
uh,
Let me maybe add one thing because I
go
have a
ahead.
friend who's riding Sherman L, and he's also doing off road. Yeah, he's doing single tracks with us, like jumping rocks. So Sherman L also performs great in the off road. It's just like more inertial, like more weight, to carry. Yeah? But it's definitely off road capable. Like Sherman L,
Okay.
100%. Yeah.
See, now I'm glad you said that because I'm not taking my Sherman L and riding off road
You
with it.
can.
That's my street baby. The
Okay.
Sherman L and the ET Max. Oh, that's another one I didn't say. Um, if a big guy wants a wheel, there's the ET Max also. You're not gonna get long range out of it because you're only gonna get like 40 miles range. But the ET Max is the fastest on road wheel as far as I'm concerned, other than what Brian was riding, obviously. The ET Max, hands down, for a big dude, is the wheel for street riding and speed. I lean on that thing and it's like, whoom. I'm like, holy crap. I was riding and I had a buddy on a Sherman S. And when we stopped, he goes, dude, I couldn't catch up to you. He's like, you took off. And I'm like, holy shit, I can't catch him. I said, yeah, you ain't catching me on the ET Max. That wheel is bananas. Bananas.
Mm.
So, one and
And
only, what's
very
up?
smooth. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like butter
Mm.
and it's
Yeah.
heavy. That's why I say for big guys because if either you're big, either you're heavy or you're tall, and the ET Max is gonna perform for you. It did. That's why it did well in China for the races in December because it you know it had somebody who was tall on it. So if you're
Mhm.
tall and you can make that like the leverage that you need to push it, it's heavy and metal, solid wheel. But it
Mhm.
takes off like a bat out of hell. I love it. So that's another one for you, man. Look, you're getting a lot of stuff tonight.
Yeah.
uh, oh, Stan said you sold me on the X-Way. Yeah, man, it's dope. Rockabye says just want to give a shout out to someone who actually listens to the EUC community. Yes,
Thanks,
yes,
John.
we talked about that. They listen. I like it. Uh-oh, we got another shout to you, Arek. One and only saying, Arek, absolutely loving the new pedals on my links. They've been absolutely amazing and can't wait to add the sync pads. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Grizzla for the win.
I, I'm really glad you liked it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Uh,
Um,
Rockabye also said Grizzla as a team doesn't just build accessories. Their builds are based on feedback, real rider experience, and what we actually need on there. Always open to ideas and never too proud to pivot. Okay, okay. Glowing review for Grizzla right there.
Thanks, John. And I want to thank John because John is the person who really takes time to give you feedback and very constructive feedback. And not only positive, he's really person who is like very much involved, and he I just feel his passion for the community, for the sport. He's very he has like voice, and sometimes people don't agree his style because he's like very because he's very passionate uh, about this. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I really feel that he has this in heart, and so shout out to John for all his contribution in the Facebook group, in the feedback to us, and yeah, to the youth sport.
yeah. Okay. Stan says, "What's the range on the X-Way?" Well, actually, Stan, I haven't pushed my X-Way to the end of its range, so I couldn't really tell you, but I know it's definitely better than the ET Max. The ET Max is the only one that I have a problem with the range. Um, so I'm guessing it's around a 70, 80 mile wheel. But I don't really know. I haven't pushed. Marty's in the chat. Marty, what would you say the range on an X-Way is? Um, or Roger. Roger's in the chat. John, anybody who's pushed in X-way for a long ride, what would you say the range is? Let's give them a second. Marty says, as I'm listening to you guys, I just installed my old small Grizzlas on the C8. Now I can jump a curb. Good
As
job,
in like
Marty. Good job.
the compact flows or baby ones, like because they're like
Oh yeah, which one was it? The baby ones or the compact flow, Marty? Um, oh, and Danny Merkel says you sold me on the X-Way as well. Thanks for all the info, guys. You're welcome, man. Anytime. We love sharing with each other. That's what we do. Um, Marty says you can do anything with any wheel. Just takes the will to do it, particularly if it's your primary wheel. Well, yeah, the wheels today, the technology that's in them, the ability that
yeah,
they all have, you really can. I could change the tire on my Sherman L and take it off road. I know I could. It,
yes,
it, it
yes,
definitely is
definitely,
well suited to it because people are
yes.
doing it with the links and they're doing all kinds of stuff with that links. So I know Sherman L will do it, but I guess I, I don't look at the Sherman L as an off road wheel because I want it as my long range Cadillac wheel. I want
Mm,
the comfy, best wheel that feels good, rides good, has super long range, and that's what I want that wheel for. When I think off road, I want the down and dirty powerhouse wheel that I'm is with the knobby tire that's ready to jump stuff and be like woohoo, and that's why I think the X Way is the winner for me when it comes to that. I do think I want to try the smaller wheels like you said, but I don't think I'll keep them. I think I'll ride them for a
mm,
short time. I don't think I'll keep them
I
because
see.
like the V9, I don't think I would keep the V. Well, it might replace my A2 because my A2 right now is my small wheel. So I
Mhm.
do need to replace it because it don't have suspension. So I might either the V9 or the C8 now. Yeah.
Yeah. Tough choice, yeah. Tough choice now, yeah. You have like
Yeah.
many competitors, like Rocket, Aero, C8,
Hmm.
V9, yeah. So
Have you ridden all of those?
no, no. So only V9,
Okay.
and I'm waiting for Aero. Uh, yeah, and yeah. So that's basically like what's waiting for me. Also, like we cannot afford like buying all of these wheels, yeah, because
Right.
we are not getting wheels for free.
Right.
So we need to buy them, sometimes in better, sometimes in like more expensive price. So if you
Hmm.
combine, like the price of these wheels, yeah, it's like a lot of money. Yeah? So
Yeah.
and also, as company, we just know that we won't be able to make products for all of those wheels. Yeah? So we need to, make tough choices, and we take into consideration always, does this need actually does this wheel actually needs an improvement, like maybe this wheel is already good, yeah, and we don't need to add anything, yeah? So we are like never about like making products just for the sake of making products, yeah? uh, because like in the long run people won't buy it, yeah, because they will feel that their wheels are complete, yeah.
Yeah.
And another factor is if this wheel can be actually successful, so if this will be chosen by large portion of the community, yeah, because you want to make this for people, yeah, like not to couple of folks, yeah.
Yeah.
So these are like tough choices, yeah.
Yeah, and like you said, you don't want to make something that's not going to sell because what's the point? That's not a smart business decision. You have to make something that's going to be, you know, uh, profitable to you so that you can continue to make more stuff
Yeah,
for more people. So I
exactly,
get
yeah,
it. I get
yeah,
it. The reason I'm saying that is because, like I said, I've been bringing the Wheel Life Rally to everybody for years, but it's never been profitable. It's always coming out of my pocket, and it hurts, and it's caused a lot of problems in my life that don't care to go into. But I'm like, at some point, I'm hoping that it becomes a little profitable, so at least it can live on its own because you do have to make hard choices and hard decisions. So that's why I wish everybody could come here and have fun and enjoy the rally because it is so amazing. Uh, but I got to make hard choices, like you said. But yeah, shouts out to Big Boy, Fast Boy in the
Yeah, hey Nick,
house.
hey Nick.
Nick is the man. He
Yeah.
says, "Hey everyone, huge fan of Arek and Grizzla." Yes, he was there with us at Amped, of course, and hanging out with Arek and riding together and stuff. So, shouts out to him. Another one of my favorite people. Oh, here we go. First of all, Marty said he never got the baby ones, so it's not the baby
Okay,
pads. And then he
so
said
it's a
the X
compact.
Way is 60 miles of semi aggressive riding and 200 pounds. Okay. So 60-mile wheel, um, maybe a little less because the guy, he's a little heavier. But yeah, Danny, you may get less. I think it was you that asked me about the range. No, Stan. Stan asked about the range. Yeah, Stan. So about a 60-mile wheel. Um, yeah.
Decent, very decent. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I figured. But I can tell you those 60 miles are gonna be good. Because
Yeah.
that wheel is fun to ride. Um, I still have to dial my own in. It's My own is not dialed in the way it was in China, and I just got on the wheel in China, and it just kind of just felt right. And it was one of the shared
Mm.
wheels, and I was like, "Oh boy!"
Mm.
So it was pretty amazing.
You
Excuse
will
me.
find it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody bought it. I forgot who it was. Somebody sent me a picture. They said, "Is this your wheel?" And I'm like, "Oh," because I put my stickers on it, and they bought that same wheel. Uh, which because they gave a deal on the demo wheels because we did beat them up. We
Mhm.
did beat them up. I never had a wheel fall down the hill for me and then hit a tree. I never had, and then still be running. The wheel was still on. I was like, wow.
Mm.
But so, all right. Is there anything on the horizon that you could think of right now that you want to tell people about?
Yeah. Uh, yeah, so we are working on a couple of things. One is, pedals for the new big old wheels, like the X-Way, Blitz, because, in the new big old wheels, you have this new mount, which is wider, which is, very good idea because it's like more stable, less force, working on the axle. But I've seen,
Hmm.
in the video from Marty, last night that in the C8 they actually are using the old
The
mount. Yeah?
old, yeah.
Yeah. But but it's good, yeah, because we already have pedals for the old mount. We are very soon releasing this stabilized headlight for the leopard kits. Yeah, so basically the headlight which will be using gyro and lidar sensors to stay in place.
Hmm.
So you have like a steady beam when you ride off road or in the city. Yeah? Because we know that leopard kits, they are pretty, they are like dancing, like up and down. Yeah? And we are working on the new paths also. Actually, a couple of di- different paths. One of the paths will be something different than people might be expecting. This will be more like minimalistic paths, yeah?
Uh
Paths
huh.
which are meant also for smaller wheels with smaller footprint, still very adjustable and very ergonomic.
Okay.
So I'm really excited for this, because I think this will open a lot of room, also for people who need, like even more freedom of movement, like people who, for example, jump, like Nadia, who
Hmm.
cannot be, like very much, like locked in because, of all that tricks, she wants to, like she wants
Yeah.
to throw her legs, on all different directions. Yeah? Or people, who are doing, tricks on UC, they need to have some leverage over the wheel but enough room, so they can, shuffle their foot on the pedals, etc.
Yep.
So, yeah, so that's something, and the new generation of flow, but this is more like 6 months timeline. Yeah, so basically, because that's a big project. We want to apply all the learnings, and yeah, so that's like, and people might think that power pads is something easy to make, but for the power pads, it's like 10 times more work than with like UC armor kits, because uh, this is project which needs to fit different wheels, different riders, and there is like aspects of safety, of ergonomics, and with pads, you are interacting a lot. Like you put armor on the wheel, and of course there are some
Mhm.
interactions and functions, but with power pads, it's something which really contributes to your feeling of the wheel. Yeah, so
Mhm.
it's really complex thing. Yeah, so a
Yeah,
lot of work. Yeah.
definitely a lot of work. Well, I definitely need you to send me a set of the bumpers in black for the Sherman L, and this new stabilized light sounds like I need one. And the pedals, if you're making pedals for it, I need that. So, whenever you're ready, let me know. Let me know. Send me another link. I'll send the money. Let's make it happen. So Marty says it's funny. I think the babies are probably good for all of these new wheels. The
Yeah,
small ones are still a little big
yeah,
for the C8.
yeah,
So
yeah, might be. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
Marty says, "Come on, Arek, take after Be Gold. Release a new pad every 2 weeks."
yeah, like it took us 2 years, like, because I was quite surprised, when I realized that it took us 2 years, like 2.5 years, to release a new pass, because the flows we released in October 2022. Yeah,
Wow,
so it was like 2.5 years, between flows and syncs. Yeah, which,
that's
which I think is
wild.
good, because I think like flows were like really are really great, because they are very universal, very adjustable. So for the long time, like they really served a purpose, and they still do. It's just like different type of paths than the sync, like with like
Hmm.
smaller footprints in terms of the width, different ergonomics, not so concave, yeah, also, but much more adjustable than the syncs, and
Yep,
allow you to use shins much more.
much more. Yeah. Well, I'm excited. Definitely excited. I appreciate all you're doing and all your team is doing. So for those that
Yeah.
weren't in here, Arek did a good job of letting us know, that it's a team effort, not just him. He's not. It's not. Arek is not Grizzla by himself.
No,
He
no,
has a
no.
whole team. So I really, really appreciate you. Uh, oh, Marty's asking, how responsive is the stabilized light?
You mean responsive in terms of how quickly it will react on the changing of the wheel angle? It's
I think so.
very quick. Yeah? So what we aim at is something like gimbal. Yeah? So we are now testing new gyro sensor, which is like much more high quality than the previous one we tested. And basically our aim is to make it as responsive as the gimbal. Yeah? So you basically won't notice change in the beam. Yeah? So
Got you.
that's the yeah.
Yeah, that
That's
makes
why it's
sense.
that's why it's taking so long. Yeah? Because we had like working version in like August last year, but we really want to make this nice, so we are also proud of this. Yeah? And it's
Mhm.
another collaboration with member of our co- co- community in Wrocław, yeah? in our hometown. Yeah? So
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
makes sense. Um, One and only says super stoked for the headlight and definitely hope to get one of the first. Been waiting.
Yeah,
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 no, I
yeah.
I understand. Yeah. One and only. I think you were reaching out to me for something for you won on a past show. Reach out to me again because I couldn't find the message. And we'll talk. Um, so Yeah, this has been great, man. I'm really, really happy that you took the time to talk
No,
to
thanks
come
for
talk to
having
the
me. Yeah,
community.
like
Yeah,
no man, no, that's really I think like we should have done it earlier. Yeah, so I'm great that we finally talked, and yeah,
yeah,
uh, I
yeah.
hope
It's great.
we'll talk more. Yeah, soon.
We will. We will. We're definitely as you continue to make upgrades. You know what I mean. Just feel free, man. Anytime you want to come through and you want to talk about something new that you're doing, reach out. That's the whole point to me doing this podcast is trying to. I want to bring to everybody in the community all the people who are doing behind the scenes work. You know, sometimes I bring the writers on too, but I like bringing the people who are behind the scenes making what we need. And all your efforts, all your team's efforts in making pads and pedals and bumper sets and everything. These are the things that we ask for and we beg for and we're like, please somebody make this, and to have you on here and have these people be able to talk and have a direct communication is exactly what I'm looking for. I love
Mm,
that. And to me, it feels like this is what we're supposed to do: talk to each other.
mm, yeah,
So I want you to know you have an open invitation. Anytime you want to
thank you.
come talk about something new that you're working on and you want to talk to the community directly, let me know and we'll put you back on and
Thanks.
you can bring your brother with you or other members of the team, whatever you want to do, however you want to do it, and I'm open to it because you guys are doing what we need. You guys are making what we're asking for, and we truly appreciate you for that. And we want to continue that and foster that same communication and avenue and keep it open. So I know that it's good to get feedback, and sometimes you get a little feedback here, a little feedback here, a little. I like this version because people can put in the chat right now what they're
Yeah,
asking,
yeah.
like the fact that Stan was asking and
Hmm.
Danny was asking direct questions right now and ask you.
Yeah,
Marty's asking
yeah.
you, about the light and stuff. This is what I want. I want us to be able to get that immediate feedback, and then you
Hmm.
walk away from this knowing that either you're on the right track or the community thinks you're
Yeah.
off. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
It lets you know right away, where you're falling. So, and I think you're falling right in the middle, right on track. So, I'm happy about that. Oh, one and only. You said you did get the shirt. Okay, thank you. Very good. Coincidentally, I am wearing it today. Thanks again. That's fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
Do me a favor, send me a photo. Either send it to me or post a photo of you wearing it and tag me in it. That'd be dope. I appreciate it. Uh, thanks to everybody that supports us, supports me with with the Wheel Life Rally and with all that I do. And thanks for supporting me as well with the AMP team and all that we're doing. So I appreciate you guys and Arek, my man, thank you again for
Thank
being
you.
such
Thank you.
a gracious guest and for coming on here and giving people the opportunity to talk to you directly. Um,
No,
uh,
thanks for having me. Thanks everyone for joining. Yeah, that was pleasure. Yeah, so I really enjoyed talking with you. Yeah, so, and let me give one more shout to Monorites from New York area. Paul is basically the guy who's riding this van, and repairing wheels of community members. Yeah, so he's just
yeah,
a gem. Yeah.
yeah. Shouts out to my man Paul. Mono rides. Yes. Paul, great job, buddy. Shouts out to you for continuing to, make give everybody an opportunity to get their wheels fixed. He takes that van and he truly goes all over trying to.
Yeah, yeah.
If he could go to Europe, he would jump. He's like he doesn't mind going anywhere. He's like
On the ferry, yeah.
yeah, he's that guy. He's like, hey, we're have van, we'll travel. He's ready. So shouts out to Paul. And I'm gonna talk to him soon. Hopefully, I haven't talked to him in a long time. And he usually makes it to the rally, so I look forward to seeing him at the Wheel Life rally soon. So I guess that's it, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in. And
Thank
for
you.
those of you who are watching now, please go ahead and hit the like button. And if you are seeing this video after the fact, go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead and hit the subscribe. Come back again. We'll talk to Arek and his team again. I look forward to more gear and accessories coming out of Grizzla, because you guys are killing it, man. You're doing a hell of a job. So to the team, from me and the community, tell them kudos. Give them a pat on the back. Buy them a
I will.
beer,
I will.
whatever. Tell
Tomorrow.
them
Yeah.
they're on the right track, and we appreciate you all. So have a good night,
Thank you.
everybody, and we will see
Thank
you in the next one. Until then, stay safe. Wear all your gear, please,
Oh, yeah.
because I still see videos with people riding without gear, and I'm like, don't do that. Till next time, deuces. We're out of here.
Bye.
All right, man.